You're listening to America's Diesel Podcast. It got a little spicy.
I think it went amazing.
It went exactly how exactly I wanted it to go.
Honestly, even the cleanup wasn't too bad after.
No.
Yeah, if you don't know what we're talking about, that sounds really weird. The cleanup after was not.
Oh.
No, I had to pressure wash the shit out of the trailer. That mud that's up there,
Yeah.
just even on the road, is like sticky thick.
Yeah.
Like it's
Did some of it back spray into your face?
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, hot, sticky
But
in the face.
yeah, all
Whatever.
in all, perfect freaking weekend. It
Agreed.
did rain quite a bit.
I think we got lucky on the trail ride, though.
On Saturday, it was perfect.
I didn't notice anything bigger than a mist
Yeah.
after the rain stopped.
That crazy dust on Friday night, though, was...
Oh, man, that was terrible.
Okay, we'll get into that in just a minute here. Let's get this intro out of the way.
This week's podcast episode is brought to you by Fuel Bomb Diesel Additive, an additive designed for diesel enthusiasts, made by diesel enthusiasts. Ben, take it away.
Hell yeah, dude. So this is our in-house Fuel Bomb fuel additive for your diesel truck. Our biggest thing here is making sure that you can pretty much always have diesel additive on you all the time. You've got a lot of other additives out on the market that they have, anti-gel in there all the time. They have cetane in there all the time. They end up being big and bulky bottles. Our standard everyday diesel fuel additive is 1 ounce per 32 gallons, and that's its main job is to make sure that your fuel system stays lubricated and prevents the formation of algae. And it should also help you in colder climates too.
Should definitely help you in colder climates. Along with cleaning your fuel system and maintaining it, it'll also help you bump that cetane number up for a more efficient burn of your diesel fuel. And if cetane is just what you're after, there's the Fuel Bomb Hellfire, which is our straight 8+ cetane enhancer.
Yeah, and you guys asked, and we brought them back. We did go away from the bottles that didn't have the measuring little parts in there. We brought them back for you, so now you can measure out your 1 ounce per 32 gallons for the F-Bomb or 4 ounces per 32 gallons for the Hellfire.
Both these additives are available on our website, dieselpowerproducts.com. Now let's get back to that episode.
Ladies and gentlemen, thanks for tuning in. This is Ben, Tyler, and Corey from America's Diesel Podcast coming from Spokane, Washington. Make sure and check us out on Google Play, SoundCloud, iTunes, Spotify, and anywhere you listen to podcasts. You can find us on there by searching America's Diesel Podcast. Also, make sure and check out our Instagram. We do go live on there every Wednesday right around 5 p.m. Pacific time. Come have a beer with the boys, talk a little bit of shit. Check out our Facebook group. It's America's Diesel Podcast - the group. 3 questions you must ask to get in. Many right answers, many wrong answers. By the time, the post will have already been made about who still needs stickers, and I'm gonna get them all out, guys. I promise. But Tyler, reviews.
Oh, yeah, let's keep those reviews coming in. We are moving up the ranks, and we greatly, greatly appreciate it. Leave your 5-star review on any of the platforms that Ben mentioned earlier. Screenshot that review, send it to podcast@dieselpowerproducts.com. Make sure you include a picture of your truck and an address so we can send you a decal. It looks just like the logo behind us and on my hat and on Ben's hat, but it's not. Wait, no, that's
Different
not the
hat,
same hat,
yeah.
you jerk.
I know. If you need parts for a pickup, make sure and check out dieselpowerproducts.com. You see that quick ship logo. It's verified in stock, ready to rock. If you are placing an order with a sales technician, make sure and let them know you are a podcast listener. Receive absolutely nothing monetarily, but should an issue arise, we do pay special attention and play favorites. If you are placing the order online, in the order notes section, type the word podcast. That way I can keep track of who's ordering, because at the end of the day, money makes the world go round. And if we can show the guys upstairs that we're not down here just farting around drinking beer, but we're doing it and helping people buy parts, because, again, money makes the world go round. Boys Weekend. For those of you wondering.
You missed out.
You missed out. Estimated Boys Weekend date for next year. That's right. This is probably the farthest any of us have ever planned ahead.
Ever. I already told my wife it's on the calendar.
Oh, beautiful. So, again, we always shoot for the first weekend of May, and that ends up being Friday, May 3rd, Saturday the 4th, and Sunday the 5th. Location to be determined. I do kind of like going to Tacoma Creek. I'm not going to... I like it. It's familiar, so I like it. But I would say tentatively, Pacific Northwest, Eastern Washington, Stovepipe, Idaho, somewhere in there.
Within an hour of Spokane.
Within an hour of Spokane. If you're traveling from outside of an hour of Spokane, which, Keith, thank you. Sorry, we live here, so.
Yeah, this is how it is.
That's just how it is. But yeah, so Boys Weekend Round 2, a rousing success.
Yeah, it was awesome. I loved every part of it. The
I did
convoy
too.
going out there. I mean, it was great. Looking back in my mirror, seeing another Cummins behind me and a gasser.
Yeah.
But hey, he kept up. He did a good job.
We had our radios going back and forth when we got stopped at stoplights.
By the way, do you still have that one of my radios?
I believe I put it on the table, but I'll check my Toyota.
It's somewhere.
It's somewhere. Yeah.
They're not that good anyway. So, but yeah, it was a great time. We had 11 people show up.
Yeah, 11.
Which is far better than the 4 we had last year.
I mean, majority 3 last year, but yeah, 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those listeners that did come out, Keith, you know him as Honey Badger. We had Andrew from Long Range Gear. Yeah. Alex Berge from Deer Park Diesel. Why am I drawing?
Isaac.
Isaac.
Oh, yeah. Mitch from Dynamite Diesel and Isaac also from Deer Park.
Yeah.
Those are the listeners that managed to make it out. We greatly appreciate you guys taking the time and enjoying our company. It was an absolute banger. Sales guys, Peyton made it, Chris made it, Mark made it. Those 3.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then us 3 right here. So that
Yeah.
makes 11. It inadvertently became basically a Marine veterans trip.
Yeah.
Of the 11 people, 6 were veterans and 5 were Marines.
Yeah. Yeah.
A bunch of people I didn't know that were Marines also, but
Yeah.
that was pretty cool to get to know you guys a little bit more. And
We also had Donald show
Yeah, I
up.
was just going
and
to say Donald
Ryan.
showed up.
Yeah, my
Right,
bad.
yeah.
Sorry. Ryan, I know that, first off,
Yeah.
so we were out riding all day and we came back and there was a car parked there. We're like, what the fuck? Who is that? And
Yeah.
I was like, it's Donald. I know him as Donald, but he goes by Ryan.
Yeah.
And the first thing we were worried about too, we were getting back to the campsite. I was like, all right, who's gonna get the fire started? Because it was like misting all day, and he already had it ripping. I was like, I fucking love you, man.
Yeah, but he was there like by himself for
I
like
know.
yeah, like 3 hours.
We should have left a sign or something.
Yeah.
But there's no reception, but that's the way we wanted it.
Yeah.
You know?
100%. Yeah.
But we'll give you kind of the rundown of how it went. If you're listening to this episode, I'm assuming did the Around the Fire episode come out before this one?
It will be.
It will be. Okay.
It'll be the one right before this, I
Yeah,
believe.
I'm gonna go ahead and re-apologize post to that episode. It's a spicy unit. Okay.
I'm not going to apologize because that's just what happens out
It's
in the
just-
woods.
If you've never been to, a campfire where there's plenty of booze and a bunch of drinkers,
And a bunch of just dudes
and a
out
bunch
there.
of dudes with like
Yeah.
nothing else to do, literally nothing else to do,
Yeah.
but sit around the fire and drink and talk shit, then this should be pretty normal.
Yeah.
So it's pretty on par.
Yeah.
But if you've never heard that, or you maybe don't want your kids or significant others to hear that, I recommend they don't hear this episode
Yeah.
or hear that episode. The previous one before that's called Around the Fire.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we
Well, let's start. So Friday. We'll start with Friday.
yeah, so Friday I got up super early and went over to Tyler's house,
Yeah.
loaded up the truck with his trailer. Well, he already had it all loaded up. I just had to basically get there and get in.
Yep.
Made it on into work. First we filled up. We actually went live.
Yeah,
on
fill-
the
at the
Instagram
gas
page
station.
at the gas station for the East Coast guys. For
Yeah.
I had a whole bunch of comments like, "What the fuck? What
Yeah.
is something wrong? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on?" And then someone immediately was like, "Did Tyler change his diff fluid? Hope it doesn't blow up. That
Oh,
trailer's pretty
Lordy.
big."
Lordy. It was just fine, everybody. But yeah, and then, obviously completed a full day of work.
Yeah.
Our glorious head of this establishment,
El
Brian,
Presidente.
El Presidente himself, got us a bottle of what was that? What was that?
Basil
bourbon?
Hayden. Yeah.
Basil Hayden,
Mhm.
which is super nice of him to do.
Yeah.
Contributed to that Around the Fire shenanigans.
Yeah. He was like, "Since we're not invited," I was like, "No, you were not invited.
Yeah.
You and Cooper were specifically not invited. You guys are real adults.
Yeah.
You don't need to be here."
So that was cool. He showed that to us like 10 minutes before we were leaving, loaded
Yeah.
up. Honey Badger
Yeah.
showed up. And we all kind of just convoyed out of here. Made it all the way we were a little late. I know we told people we were going to meet him at 5 at Kalispell Casino. That's kind of the last little pit stop to get fuel. I had to dump the trailer, beer, ice. They had no ice
Apparently
up
no
there,
ice.
Yeah,
That
which
was
is
horse
freaking
shit.
yeah, which is weird. Especially because it's still kind of like off season up there. But anyways, made it up to campsite probably around I'd say probably 6:30, 6:15.
I think we probably pulled into camp. It was probably By the time you had the truck parked, it was probably like 6:45, 7.
Yeah. So we were able to get the spot that
No,
I
it was earlier than that. I remember doing a time check, figuring like when was everybody else going to be here, and it wasn't 7 yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were definitely parked. Like we were already.
I'd say probably by 6:30.
Yeah, side by side was out by 6:30.
Yeah. We were able to get the spot that I really wanted. I really wanted to show you guys because it's probably the best spot up there.
Also known as option 1, if you
Yeah.
saw the pictures.
That's the only spot I want now.
Yeah, short of going way. So I don't know if you remember when we rode to the warming hut.
Yeah, I
There,
saw
you
it.
see the people with the cones, and there's that spot way back there.
Yeah.
That's the other pretty decent spot, but it's a long. I mean, obviously, it's a long drive with a trailer to go down there. Usually, you don't see people with unless it's like fully packed with a big trailer down there.
I'll tell you, it's
just
probably
'cause
not long with the leprechaun.
No. The leprechaun. So yeah, speaking of that, so we get there to our campsite. I got the truck parked, trailer, getting the trailer all situated, side by side out.
And it was actually raining.
It was honestly pouring.
Yeah. I was starting to think like I didn't bring a slicker. Like, oh,
Yeah,
shit.
which was all right. I threw the awning out on the trailer, got the side by side out as quickly as possible, just because my ramp is the back wall of the trailer. So got that closed up, got it all parked, leveled, did my thing, turned the generator on. And once we got that all situated, we, started on our little fire that we had because we were waiting on Mark because Mark had in his truck, he's got what is his,
ton of wood.
what year is his?
2012 Ram.
Is it 12?
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, wow. It's a 12 Ram 2500 long bed. He had that thing packed full of pallets and just kind of scrap wood, some rounds, a bunch of stuff. And so we started this little tiny little fire waiting for Mark to show up. And the fire at this point is starting to get very, very small. And we're sitting there in the rain going, Mark better freaking show up. Like it's getting like 7:38. Like where the hell is he? All of a sudden, you walked off and you're kind of like listening. And I walked over to you.
An engine.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't really know if I hear anything. And then we kind of hear something. I'm like, that's got to be that's him. It got to be right. And so we look up the hill, and it's you can only kind of see the road like through the trees, and all of a sudden we see this black flash just hauling down the road,
like
and
a headlight, taillight, and then a headlight, marker lights, taillight.
Yeah, and then there's this leprechaun motorhome right on his ass. They're probably going 40 or 50. I have no idea. He blew right past our camping spot. And then Ben and I was like, that was them. And so we go and hop in my side by side.
We literally run to the side by side, get in, take off like a bat out of hell to try and catch them.
They're nowhere to be found.
They went so far.
I'm like, how are we not catching them?
And how did they blow by option 1, 2, and 3?
Option 1, 2, 3, they completely blew past it. First of all, I have to give props to the Leprechaun motorhome. I don't know what engine is in that thing, but that thing freaking rips.
I think it's
probably
an
a 5. Well, it could
it's
be
a GM platform. I think it's an A1.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that thing moved.
I'll message him right now.
Yeah, that thing hauls ass. And so we're on the road. We're probably going 45 at least, trying to catch these guys.
Yeah.
And they're just nowhere to be found. We're like, where in the hell did they go? And we finally catch them after they like stop and realize they've gone too far. And I'm like, Mark, what are you doing? You just blew right past we put an orange strap out. Like, I mean, it was kind of visible, but
we literally said, if we go to, like, this is why I had the satellite images of that. I was like, option 1, if we're here, you cannot see it from the road. We will put something out. Like
something.
I literally said like a tow strap, a ratchet, whatever.
Yeah, we put a bright orange strap wrapped around a tree,
like
out
a couple
there.
Trees, like at the turn-in, literally at the turn-in.
At the turn-in.
And then if you get to option 2 and you don't see us, okay, there's another good turnaround.
Yeah.
And then if you get to option 3 and you don't see us, there's a good chance you miss option 1. You should turn around. They were like triple the way past option 3.
Yeah.
They were just like kept flying down.
Yeah.
So we turn around and we're like, okay, first off, Mark. And Mark looks at us, was like, why'd you go so far? He's like, oh, the truck was working good.
Yeah, he's like, the Carly suspension. I finally got to play with my Carly suspension. It's just like, yeah, great, dude. But
and then the second part of that was like, okay, Mark, either you were not pushing your truck hard enough or Chris in the motorhome.
Yeah.
Because he was keeping up with you.
Yeah.
This stock ass motorhome was literally on your ass.
Yeah.
And again, two Marines going, I can only imagine they're just just on like, yeah,
onward. Yeah. Just like, guys, slow down. Anyways, we got them all situated, got them down to the camp, started our big pallet fire, which was amazing.
It was big.
It was awesome.
Yeah, and then Andrew showed up,
Yep.
long range.
Yep.
And he had a full truck bed full of rounds and slats.
Big hunks of wood. And we burned
We had
through
enough fire, trust me.
all of it.
Yeah.
But so later Friday night, we're all together. We've had a couple of barley juices, and we're like, hey, let's try to go up to a warming hut.
And
that's a great idea.
At least 24 glizzies. Glizzies were had.
Yeah. Oh,
okay,
dude, it was a blizzard out there.
It was a glizz fest.
And they were good actually.
They're
Those
good.
Polish dogs are freaking
Dude,
something else, dude.
I got one pack of Costco hot dogs and one pack of Costco Polish dogs.
Dude, I do Polish all
Polish is that
Polish
nice snap
all
to
day,
them.
every day. Dude.
And instead of just normal hot dog buns, I got the sandwich hoagie rolls.
Yeah. Oh. With the little balls,
Little
the
seeds
seeds on
up.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
that was freaking amazing.
That was good. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you guys know what we're talking about. So we decided to go to this warming hut. If you guys don't know what a warming hut is, this area is used for snowmobilers. It's used for, guys in UTVs, dirt bikes, all sorts of stuff, right? Well, in the wintertime, they have this little cabin that's kind of in a neutral point, I guess, on the mountain up there that you can get into and warm yourself up. They keep it stocked with firewood. It's got a little wood stove in it. It used to have electricity. I don't know what happened to the lights in there, but you used to be able to turn a light on, which you can't anymore. But anyways, we decided to try to make it up there, which is about I'd say probably a 15-mile ride from our camp ish.
So first things first, we had planned on like, okay, we'll just do a scouting run to see how far we can go because we knew we were going to run into snow.
Yeah.
And then we were sitting there around the fire.
Yeah.
Everybody's all amped. It's Friday night.
Yeah.
And then plus Peyton wasn't there. We were still waiting for Peyton.
Yeah.
And we're waiting and we're waiting. We're waiting and we're drinking and we're eating and we're waiting and we're waiting. It's already pitch black dark.
Yeah.
So there's no concept of time.
Yeah.
And there's no service. So no one's checking their phones really.
Yeah.
We're waiting and Peyton finally gets there. Oh, what's up, Peyton? Everybody, get a beer. Everybody introduce everybody to Peyton, unload the fire, whatever, an extra round of glizzies go out because Peyton's there. And then it's like, all right, cool. Well, let's go check out the warming hut. And I happened to glance at my phone. It was like 12:20.
Yeah. Yeah. So we started a little late.
Night run.
And it's kind of that misty rain, right? So it's not like giant raindrops. It's like there's just rain that's just like kind of blanketing everything. But it's not like when you step outside, it doesn't feel like it's raining all
it's
that
not
hard.
actually falling.
Yeah.
It's just really
kind of floating.
heavy mist.
Yeah. And so we're me and Ben are in my side by side. We're kind of leading the way because nobody else knows how to get up there. And I can't see anything like at all. Like I have my Bajas on. I got a set of Baja Squadron Pros in the amber, which is supposed to like cut through that stuff.
And it does.
But in addition to just like the fog that was rolling through with that rain, and I have a plexiglass windshield, so I don't have a windshield wiper. Very difficult to see.
Yeah. And it was like so fine. You would think that maybe eventually they start like clumping up and becoming drops and dropping down.
Yeah.
It didn't. It just
no,
stacked up
and
more
even
and
if
more.
you cleaned your windshield, by the time you got back into your seat, your windshield was already jacked up again.
Yeah.
So it was like, okay, we just have to kind of power through this. We finally get up to like the snow line, and I shove it in the 4-wheel drive and just mat it through this snow, and the thing just right through it, like no problem. And it was actually really fun. And
part of it, you were like no hands.
Yeah.
We were in ruts.
Yeah,
You just had a pin, no hands.
Yeah. And so I make it through, and then Honey Badger's behind me in his 2-seater Talon, and he makes it through, and we're sitting there. And then Alex Berge from Deer Park Diesel, he makes it through, and he has like a Can-Am Maverick. Pretty cool little utilitarian style UTV, but it's still sporty.
Yeah.
It's a cool unit. And so us three make it through, and then we're just like looking, and we see headlights. Well, not the actual lights, but just the illumination of the woods of headlights. And we hear and we're like, oh crap, they're stuck. And so Berge was like, I'll go, because it was his buddy, and he had this Can-Am. It was a 6x6.
Yeah.
My wife said I was being mean to him because I told her that week.
Called
So after this,
2x6?
so yeah, so I before we even start, I'm like, "You're getting stuck."
Yeah, you called him out.
Before he
knew
even
his
left,
name.
I literally didn't even know his name. I'm like, "You're getting stuck," and he like laughs like, "Ha ha." Well, he got stuck. And so Bergie turns around to go get him, and we kind of see Bergie trying to turn around, and then he like gets stuck,
Yeah.
and then so we just decided to like walk down there, and I think they pulled him out or something. I think they got him out before we even got there, didn't they?
I ended up pulling
Or
him out.
Yeah,
you
well, the
did,
thing is,
you did.
there
That's
was
right.
a
Yeah,
tree
'cause you were
down.
behind him in the Forerunner.
And we were assuming he got stuck at the tree
Yeah.
because we almost like when we saw
I
the
saw
tree,
the tree. I let up, and then I was like, well,
Nope.
fuck it. And I just
back into
floored
it and just bounced over the tree and kept going. So did Keith.
Yeah.
And then obviously so did Bergie.
Yeah.
I assume at that point that's when it broke.
Broke. Yeah.
But we assumed they were stuck at there, but they didn't even get to that point.
No, didn't even get to that point.
So at that point, it's the 6x6.
yeah.
At that point, 2x6.
Yeah, because that's what I dubbed his name was 2x6
And then
at
behind
that
him
point.
was Corey in the Forerunner,
Yeah, and
which
so
we're going to talk about that in a second. Here
yeah,
too.
after getting him out via Corey, because Corey was behind him in his Forerunner, we had decided, okay, let's just turn around. It's already late. Let's just go back. We'll try this again tomorrow.
Yeah.
And so yeah, we got back to the camp, had a few more drinks, and then everybody kind of petered off and went to bed.
Tyler's being a little bit nicer. It was a lot more than a few more drinks. It ended up like we got back and everybody was all amped that we went on an adventure,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden, I think it was me. I can't remember. I was like, dude, it's 4:00. And everybody's like, "Oh shit, 4:00? Yeah, peace."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm thoroughly. I don't. If I hadn't actually checked my phone, I'm pretty sure we would have started to see the sun come up,
Yeah. We were getting close.
and
yeah.
we'd be like, "Oh,
Yeah.
is that for real?"
Yeah.
Shit.
That's what happens when you're having fun out in the woods with your boys. You know,
It's true, though.
it's like
Yeah.
it's like time just kind of just flies. And so Saturday, well, no, before that, you guys
So,
took off in the
So Corey, we
this
got
is his
we got a
maiden
little-
voyage in his Forerunner, which is
Yeah.
awesome. It's an awesome rig. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Corey tossed me the keys, and
Yeah, we went for a little ride.
a little ride, and so we were just messing. We went for a drive because we were wondering, okay, how's this thing's gonna ride? Because we're assuming that everybody else is probably going to be on like the normal dirt roads going 30 to 40, 45 maybe.
Yeah.
Just make sure this thing is actually able to kind of keep up in what gear and whatnot. And we figured out, okay, yeah, this thing, it'll cruise okay at about 30 miles an hour. So it's not,
And
you'll-
it did. You
Yeah.
guys were just moving.
yeah,
Yeah.
we were especially towards the later of the day on
Yeah.
on Saturday. We were
Yeah.
moving pretty good.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, it'll keep up. Like, we're not going to be waiting all day for it and like that. And then we decided to kind of pull off. And there's some nice kind of up in the trees a little bit there.
Yeah.
And so Corey's like, all right, he's got the shifter. He's sitting passenger. He's like, got a neutral. He goes, okay, there's 4-wheel drive, low. Okay, we're in. This is
Low.
It's a low.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, so like put it in first, and the clutch reaches like all the way to the top.
Yeah.
So I'm like thinking to myself, like, okay, I know I don't need to give it much throttle, but like first gear is like you're literally topped out at like not even a mile an hour.
Yeah.
Like so, I'm like giving it throttle. It's like, woo! And I'm like, and then your tires like.
Yeah.
like,
Barely
okay.
moving.
So we start messing around with that a little bit, and then we go, and I took Tyler on those two afterwards
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well. But like we're going up a slope, and I'm talking like I'm okay.
It's
If
a
you-
decent slope.
It's a decent slope. If you guys are actually like rock crawlers and off roaders, or like your Toyotas that are double T cases or something like that, this is all going to be
This is old news to you, but
Elementary
this
to
is
you.
like for us
But-
stupid diesel guys. Like
Yeah.
this is all like, oh wow, this is like really low.
yeah. And like I've been in twin stick Forerunners before and stuff like that, so I get the whole idea of like small motor, lots of gear reduction. Like I get that.
Yeah.
I actually I think it's fun.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, let's see how much we can go up this thing with no throttle input.
Yeah.
And so after we mess around for a little bit, we go, we're back in low, we're at the base of it, first gear, and I just like let out the clutch, and it like goes to bog down, and it literally stalls, but it has so much, it lurches forward, starts back up again. I didn't even touch the key. And it just goes, drops down to probably about like 300 RPM.
Yeah.
Every time it starts to lug down, it's going to die. The engine gets loaded and it actually picks up RPM.
Yeah.
And we're just looking at the sky.
Yeah.
You can't see shit.
Yeah.
And then it gets all the way up and over it. And just like, I'm like, hey, we're up here.
Yeah.
And, put the, get off the throttle. Oh, actually, I wasn't on the throttle, obviously.
Right.
Put the clutch in, just let it roll down, and come back, and I do it again.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, we got to get Tyler in this thing.
Yeah.
So I go get Tyler, and Corey's like, yeah, take him out.
Yeah.
And we go do it, and then I'm like, oh, dude, I bet you I can drive around up here.
Yeah.
And it's like thick wooded. Yeah.
Just mowing down trees.
So I just go up there, and I turn around, and then I come down it, and I was like, well, we found the limit of where the suspension travels, because we're basically tucking the passenger front tire all the way to the fender,
Yeah.
and like bounds it up, and like you're looking at me, and I'm looking at him, I'm like, these things bind, like it's what's gonna happen. We just gotta like get out of it, take the load off a little bit,
Yeah.
and we do it. And we get back down there, and we go for another rip for with it, little rip with it. Figure out what's gonna work well for driving around. Get it, try it in like 4 high with a low, low with a high, high, low, low, all that kind of stuff. What gears work with what?
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure that motor's making about 65 horsepower.
Something like
That's
that. Yeah.
generous.
Generous,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's generous,
Just
yeah.
wrap the fuck out though. Just
Yeah.
and that thing was great. I mean, it's
performed,
caged
yeah.
up. It's it's a fun. It made me. I know that I won't be able to do one of those with my family right now
Yeah.
because a side by side just makes more sense. Like
Right.
I'm sorry, it just does.
Yeah.
But like I feel way more at home in a 4Runner like that.
Yeah.
Like just having fun. And
Well, it's nice
I will-
because it keeps you out of the elements too. I mean, with a
does.
side by side, you're in the elements. You are getting wet regardless of door. Like I have doors and lower doors, so my basically where a windshield would be and down is pretty well sealed.
Yeah.
But you still get soaking wet. I mean, there's no way around it. I mean,
Yeah.
the mud's coming in, everything's coming in. With that, you can kind of get out of the elements and still have fun with your family. If you had, rear seats. But
Nobody's getting in that back seat anyway.
Right. But
exactly with the cage in there, it ain't gonna happen. Like,
Yeah.
I got 2
Jesse
kids.
killed it on that cage, by the
he
way.
did. He
great
did.
job.
Yeah, he's asked
Yeah.
Chris about that cage.
Like the fact that he had like the thought process of, okay, Corey's a big dude. Let's move this B pillar back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Absolutely. And that's kind of the coolest things you could do when you're kind of building something. You can kind of custom fit it to who's going to be in the driver's seat, which is awesome.
But I mean, the only failure that happened with the
The hood
4Runner,
latch.
the hood latch.
Yeah.
But
The-
again, that's not going to stop it from running.
It's not going to stop it from running.
we
And then
we
it
overheated
overheated
it.
once
Yeah, but
With-
that was because
with good
because
reason.
of that. Yeah. Because that one bolt
Yep.
that we tightened up that had that ground wire for the fan.
Yeah.
But all in all, I mean, no damage.
No.
I mean,
It's
I
a
didn't-
unit, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did have some damage though this weekend. We did have what? So, there's this Saturday. I wanted to take everybody to what's called the Sand Hill down there, and it's not an official name, but it's just like this random sand dune,
A hill
a hill
of
yeah.
sand.
But it's just
Believe it or
like
not.
it's a random like sand dune basically
Mhm.
on the power lines. But getting down to it, there's this road that always washes out, and I'll be 100% honest with you. This road that got washed out, I knew it was going to be bad just because of the rainfall and the snow that we've had this year.
Mhm.
It was way worse than what I thought it was going to be. Like it was. I mean, we're talking ruts that Corey could have put his 4Runner in, and like you could literally have probably just stepped onto the roof of the 4Runner.
Yeah.
Like that's how deep they were. We had the 6x6 didn't get stuck there. Bergie got stuck there
There's the
in one.
spot just rolled over.
Yeah, he got
He had a tough 1,000 feet there.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, there was that one little section that Bergie went into that he got stuck on a stump, which
Yeah.
I almost got stuck going up that where he went. But he hooked up to the 6x6 and his front passenger tire got into the stump and they pulled it and it kind of bent one of his tie rods a little bit. And then
Trail fix with a hammer.
5 minutes later, he gets stuck on another section because the rut kind of like wraps around the road and you have to like go over it. But it's so bad this year that it like swallows your tire.
Yeah.
Like we went through it first. My tire, luckily I have 32s and they're a pretty aggressive tire. And so we were kind of just able to kind of pop out of it and kind of throttle out of it and we were fine. But then when Berkey went through it, he's got 30s on it and it just swallowed his
Yeah. Well,
driver.
Keith made it through, and he's on 32s too, right?
Keith's on 32s too, yeah. And he just kind of did the same thing I did. I think we kind of effed it up for Bergie
Yeah.
a little bit. But
Small wheelbase, small tire.
yeah, he got his rear tire stuck. His driver rear tire stuck in there pretty bad.
Yeah.
That he had to eventually we just winched him out and he popped right out of there.
And
But
his front locker's messed up.
his
So,
front
yeah.
locker ended up something's wrong with it. So there was that, a little bit of damage. The 6x6 just kind of just crawled over it like a freaking
Like, it wasn't even
caterpillar,
there. And that's when he then became 4x6.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can sense a theme here as the weekend went on.
Yeah, to be fair though, like on the way back, I got stuck in that same. one
I was
Burger
bringing it up.
did.
Yeah. So I'm telling you guys, like this rut system is super bad. Like it was, or I shouldn't even call it a rut. It was literally a washout. Like the road just washed out.
It was a
Yeah.
huge V notch.
Yeah, it was just ginormous.
Yeah.
There was kind of only one real path to take. So anyway, so we get everybody on the north side of it. We play on the sand hill a little bit. I went up at once. It's actually a relatively steep hill.
Mhm.
I made the mistake of not going up it in sport mode, so my transmission kind of shifted early, and I was going real slow at the top of it, but I still made it. Fun little kind of area to hang out, listen to music, watch people screw around and
Yeah,
whatnot.
Peyton had his RC trucks out there.
Yeah,
That was a good
of
time.
course he does.
Yeah. He's a little kid.
It's a little kid, just a kid. Anyways, we decide to, at that point, because we had to make a decision whether we're going because we originally talked about going to Beaver Lodge, which would have been
A trek.
Really, it would have been a trek. It
For
really
start,
would.
we got a little bit of a late start on Saturday.
Yeah, a little bit of a late start.
Originally, we said 10 o'clock. We were probably moving by about 11:30.
Yeah, at the earliest.
At the earliest.
So anyways, we decide to, instead of going to Beaver Lodge, to head back to the main trail and then make it to the warming hut. Because the guys that were there last year wanted to go. It's just a cool little destination spot to get to, and we knew we were running into snow, so we were like, okay, let's try to get up there while we still have daylight, and it's not like
and
pouring
we know
rain.
what we're getting into.
And we know what we're getting into. And so we, as we're making our way back up to that rut system or the washout, everybody kind of makes it through. And then Corey's leading up the tail, and we all make it through, and we're just kind of waiting there for him. And he's not there. And we're like, oh shit, he got stuck. Someone
I took a
needs to,
stupid line,
he
dude.
took it's okay. It's okay. And so we're just sitting there waiting. And then Mark decides to just run his ass down there.
Yeah.
And they were stuck. You guys had a winch out.
Yeah, we had to winch out. It was,
Which luckily you wired up that morning.
yeah.
Luckily you did that.
I
So
wasn't going to.
I know, but dude, cheers to Ivan. Just kind of just made it happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Isaac. Yeah,
Isaac, sorry, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, no, it's fine. It's not a big deal. And he's like, nah, we'll do it.
yeah,
Because we were airing up the tires. And he's
Yeah.
like, it'll be done by the time tires are aired up.
yeah,
Yeah, so I that was again too. Yeah, so I busted out my little Vire portable compressor and
Yeah.
got the tires all dialed in because the previous night before they were aired down quite a bit
yeah.
By a
all
raging man.
by a raging man.
A raging former Marine.
Hey, you're always a Marine.
Yeah.
Don't ever say that around
Yeah,
them.
yeah. Oh, sorry. Yeah, always.
I'll
Yeah,
chop you
my
in the
bad.
neck.
Anyways, yeah. So we get through that. Start heading up to we basically backtracked the whole way. I knew there was another road that we could have taken, but the GPS that I had was not happy. The battery is like,
Daddy was not stoked.
I was trying to look it up. Every time I would get any progress, the thing would die on me. Anyways, we just decided we're just going to take the same route we took in. We took that out, got back to the main road, and then you just start heading up the main road. We get to the snow section. Once again, I'm leading the way, make it through, no problem. The snow though is getting, progressively more wet, and it seemed to be better after we'd gone through it. Like it was packing down.
Yeah.
But Corey still had a little bit of what happened? Explain what happened with
Well,
that.
that's when it overheated.
That's okay. That's right. Yeah. That's when it overheated, and then the clutch started slipping a little bit. We started
Yeah.
getting some clutch. So we ended up. I backed down. I reversed all the way to Corey
Yeah.
in the snow, and hooked up my Born off-road strap that Ben was, or I should say, kinetic rope, and two of the Born off-road recovery shackles. Hooked it up to Corey's rig, and I was just gonna basically just kind of help him.
Yeah.
I
think
just to
and then
keep
I had
his
him-
momentum going, which I do have a video of.
Yeah, I had him aired down at that point to, I think you were 8s
At
all
that
around.
point, I think it was 8. Yeah.
6 or 8s all around. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we got up to the next spot, then we went to 6.
Yeah, I put him at 6 all around.
So this is me telling,
Just letting her eat. Well,
like, I
have
don't
to-
even know if I'm helping you or not. I'm
Yeah.
just putting tension on the rope at that point.
you'll have to send that to me so I gotta make a post in the boys or the Facebook page.
Yeah, I got
so you
actually
can all
quite
see
a-
that.
Like there's
Sweet.
the washout. That's right before Briggy
Yeah.
got stuck.
But long story short, the talons never got stuck. Just saying.
It's true. Yeah.
Listen,
That's impressive.
I'm not saying they're the best machine out there. Obviously, Polaris guys are very sensitive, and they, think their machines are the best. That's cool.
And for some
and
reason, they're
everything.
always towed by Duramaxes. I don't know.
They are. I
Are we
don't
gonna
know
make
why.
that connection?
No, the Polaris has a great machine there, but I will say for what a Honda Talon is, when you put in combination with the transmission and bigger tires, especially like at least 32s, it's an animal.
Yeah.
I mean, it is truly an animal.
And
Like
for
it-
what we do up here, it's
Yeah.
fantastic. Obviously,
Yeah.
you take it out the dunes, you're gonna get smoked every time by a turbo
100%.
Can-Am or something like that.
I'm not
but-
trying to race anybody up a sand dune.
Yeah, but this, as far as like a knock on wood, trouble free, because there's just there's no belt, there's no turbo.
Yeah.
It's fast enough.
Yep.
It gets the job done, and it holds people.
And it's still fast enough to where you can severely hurt yourself on
Oh,
it
yeah.
if you're not paying attention. Like
It'll
it's
still make your butthole pucker.
100%.
100%.
I had Ben drive, and because I'm never in the passenger seat on that, because even with like my wife she just doesn't have any urge to drive it. She just like wants to ride around, which is fine. But I never get to feel like what the passenger seat feels and what the passengers feel. And so like Ben hops in it and he's ripping, and I'm like, like because it freaks you out, and then when you have no control and you're in
I
the
can
passenger seat,
There was 2 corners where I could tell you were like,
oh
oh fuck, we're
yeah,
gonna lose it.
yeah, we're going over. We're
And
going
here's
over.
the thing, like those types of corners,
Yeah.
you hang it out so much further than I do on those.
I know.
On a regular basis. And after like 3 of them, I'm just like, oh, this is normal now.
Yeah.
But and I'm telling you guys, as far as like tires on these things, like
Yeah.
my side by side experience is very minimal. Okay, I like Polaris 800s in Pismo in like
Yeah.
late 2000s. Okay, so like not fast,
Yeah.
basically rollover machines, and then basically Tyler's side by side. And I'll tell you guys what, like, if anybody were to ever ask me, like, what's the first mod I should do on any side by side, I'm like, tires stage 3.
Yeah.
Get stage 3 tires.
System 3.
System 3 tires, yeah. And just like those tires, they're a fucking cheat code.
Yeah.
Like it makes you 10 times better of a driver. And
They're amazing because it'll let you still get the ass in loose,
yeah,
but as soon as you like point and shoot it, it just grips and it just shits and goes.
it
like
totally
it
does.
just grips and just see ya. Like which is what I like, because I like
Yeah.
getting a little loose when it's in 2-wheel drive, playing around. But I want obviously good traction, because I personally like doing like the low speed kind of more technical kind of obstacles and that sort of stuff. So it's a perfect tire for both, because it also is a little harder compound because they're DOT approved. But fantastic tire. I'm super glad. I mean, you do pay up for them, but it's well worth the extra like $200, let's say, over another brand of tire.
Totally.
And I do have Method bead grip wheels, so I was able to air down. I aired down to about 7 psi when I was through the snow, which I don't even think I needed to do, honestly. But yeah, it was a great time. We got up to the after we helped kind of Corey get through. We had not gone past the road at that point, because that's where we stopped at Friday night, and I was fully anticipating another round of snow, which we did not run into.
No. We were, like,
Only
right
until
there.
we turned into the
Right.
warming hut, but it was still nothing that was anything technical. So we made it up to the warming hut, hung out there for a while. You can write your name on the wall in there and whatnot. It's kind of cool seeing because I've been going up there for quite a while, so you can see all the old stuff I wrote, and like my wife and all the people that I ride with is still up there, which is cool. So yeah, it was just awesome overall day of riding, and It was great. Yeah, everything worked. Everything. We didn't have anything. We didn't have any major damage where someone had to leave their rig behind or get towed out or anything like that. Although, I mean, we probably could have pushed them a little bit harder and done some more technical stuff. But when you only have basically a one full day to kind of screw around and whatnot, because we were leaving relatively early on Sunday. You just run out of time too quick. Like it's you almost need a full, because I would have liked to try to get up to Kalispell Peak, at least take a couple of the side by sides that we know can make it, and try to head up there. But you just run out of time.
Yeah,
and you run out of seats. I mean, too, when you have 11 people and you're like, okay, only 6 can go. It kind of sucks, because that's I would love to take you up there, Corey, with your 400 run it, because there's the really cool like rock crawling section too up there.
Nice.
But I would assume it would be still covered in snow, but I don't know. We didn't even try.
We got this summer.
We got this summer, that's for sure.
But yeah, it was a good time.
Yeah.
Like it's exactly what I wanted. I hope next year it's just as fun, if not more fun, and more people can make it.
Yeah.
Again, the dates for next year, first weekend of May, I believe that's Friday the 3rd, 4th, and 5th.
Unsanctioned.
Yeah, again, unsanctioned. Definitely not a sanctioned event. There's no insurance. It's BYO, all of it.
I'll tell you one of my favorite observations of this boys weekend, which I kind of sat back and I just kind of watched. Just like you see these, just groups of people like. These are just like true diesel enthusiasts, because even on our time off, everybody's still talking about diesel trucks.
Yeah.
Like everybody.
Yeah. Like
they're all checking out Bergie's truck, and there's a group over here talking about something, and then another group over here talking about another aspect of diesel and blah blah blah. Like I'll be honest, like I didn't talk a lot of diesel to people, but it was just fun observing everybody else that likes this kind of shit. And it's even on the days out, like, cause we do this every single day. Like we talk diesel every single day. Not that I say I'm like tired of it or anything, but it's cool to see the people that, listen to this podcast are true diesel enthusiasts. Cause that's literally the majority of the conversations that were had out there were still like diesel truck stuff, which is awesome. So it was a great group of guys. I mean, there's not one single issue with anybody that we had up there. Everybody got along great. And it was just awesome to see that. Yeah. So
vibes were top notch. It's one of those things where, if you see someone with no beer in their hands, there's no like, hey, where's your cooler? I'll grab, a beer. So, dude, take one of these, man.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. No, it was awesome. It was cool. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I think we need to give a shout out to the grill master over there.
Oh yeah. Ben, the grill master,
made that fire tri-tip, dude.
Oh man, that was so good.
We had another, whiskey scotch marinated tri-tip on there.
Yeah, it's so good. So good.
Yeah, that was a banger.
Yeah.
I think that might have put me to sleep is what it was.
Oh, yeah. I think me too, yeah.
Standard guy move. I basically brought 2 granola bars with me for the entire day when we were out.
I had one.
Yeah, Tyler had one, and then we proceeded to smash an entire cooler's worth of beer.
Yeah, yeah.
And then by the time we got back, it was time to eat, and everybody's like starting to like doze a little bit. And then
we did a podcast.
Basically, a very spicy podcast. Then basically I had some like scotch-infused tri-tip. I was dying.
Dude, I
was falling asleep.
That's probably one of the best marinades I think I've put together.
Yeah, that was good.
I really like. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah,
I was guesstimating on how done it was going to be because I didn't have a thermometer on.
It was perfect. You sliced it up perfect too in those little slabs. Like that was so good. Yeah, right
just
on.
Melted.
Yeah, it was good.
Nice little crust on it. And
yeah.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
If there's one thing I can impress upon you younger guys, learn how to barbecue meat.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Yeah.
And I can tell you right now, I didn't even start using a thermometer until I was probably 37. I'm 37 now, sorry. Till I was 35. And that's only because it was probably a little bit before then, but that was only because I started cooking Thanksgiving turkeys and I need to actually know what the temperature is. Otherwise, previously up until then, all by feel.
Yeah.
It's like, how thick is that meat? How hot is it? How many times have I turned it? Yeah, I think that's good.
That's about good. Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I'm on probably about 9.5 times out of 10.
Yeah. It was good. It was good.
And the trick is, folks, you can always put it back on.
Yep.
I'm just saying. I know it's all sacrilege to cut something open and look at it, but when you got a big piece of meat like that,
Sometimes you got to.
throw a cut down the middle and feel like, you
Well,
know what?
too, you don't know how that little barbecue is going to cook sometimes.
Exactly.
If you're running out of propane or something, like I'm surprised that propane lasts as long as
Dude,
it did.
that thing was ripping for a long time.
Yeah.
The whole-
Yeah.
And
I was actually getting worried because I was like, I
thought it
think
was
I got
me too.
another half barrel in there.
Yeah. I was like, we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
But I also fully acknowledge the fact that I was sipping on a lot of barley juices. I was like, I need to err on the side of caution here.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I know I'm probably second guessing myself. I just trust your gut, man. Trust your gut. You
Yeah.
can always throw it back on.
But yeah, we look forward to next year and hopefully more people can join us. And yeah, we'll have another good time.
Yeah, it was exactly what I wanted.
Yeah.
It was 100% exactly what I wanted. I feel refreshed, rejuvenated,
Yeah.
a little tired still. It's Wednesday. But yeah, I enjoyed the drive up there, the drive around, the drive back, even going to Kalispell, casino for breakfast or lunch the next morning with the shitty service they have.
Yeah.
Thank you, Chris, by the way, for paying for everybody's food.
Yeah.
For those of you that didn't notice,
Except for me, because I got a little bit of a gambling addiction.
Yeah. But we were sitting at the bar, and they have little
Bar top
machines, and I threw like $40 in. And ended up
Do you know how
losing
lucky
all
he
of
is to hit that when
Yeah.
he did? Because like usually like that, when you're betting that, like usually it'll eat like a couple $100.
Yeah.
Because he was betting like $10 a freaking spin.
I think he
Which-
threw a total of $20 in there, maybe $30, and he hit like basic. I don't want to say jackpot, but basically
No,
nailed it.
what he did was he hit a bonus on a game, but he
Yeah.
was betting $10 a spin. So at that point, like you could have a really,
Yeah.
he could have won a jackpot.
He won
very well.
He won $168.
Yeah,
And
which is actually small. It's only like a 10x win.
yeah,
Well, it's a 16x win, I guess.
something like that. Yeah.
But
So then he
but still.
he paid for everybody's food there, so that was nice. But not
Yeah.
Tyler, because Tyler was up and down, up and down, up and down.
yeah,
Going to gamble while
I
he
was
was
trying.
eating.
I was trying to get my own $160.
But huge thank you to Chris
that
for
was
that
super
one.
nice of him
Chris also tested the durability of the roll cage inside
with his head.
with his forehead.
Yeah, wear your seatbelts.
Buckle
people.
up.
Yeah,
So I'm going to say buckle up. We've all done it.
yeah.
Just buckle up.
You're an adult. You don't need to be told to.
Yeah. But yeah, otherwise it was exactly what I wanted, man.
Yeah,
It
was great.
And I hope you guys all get a chance to either come next. And obviously, all you can't come.
Yeah,
We're too many people.
yeah.
But take time and go out with the boys and have a good solid boys weekend. And I'll be honest, if you're looking for a date to do it, that first weekend of May, it's a good one.
Yeah.
It's a good one as long as you don't have any significant others' birthdays or like that.
Yeah.
Because I'll tell you what, at least up here, the weather,
It's perfect.
none of our wives wanted to go.
Yeah.
Except Cass probably would have gone.
My
Yeah.
wife would have went, but
Yeah.
I told her dudes only.
Yeah. Get out of here.
Yeah.
No chicks allowed. But like even my wife on Thursday, she was like,
You sure you're going?
she's like, you going? Looks like weather's gonna be total shit. I was like, exactly, that's where we're going.
Yeah.
She's like, that's weird. I'm like, well, do you want to go? She's like, no. I'm like, that's why.
Yeah.
And apparently Mitch's wife basically had the same conversation with him.
Yeah.
So did Bergie's wife. It's like, this is exactly what we chose this weekend. And they're like, well, why didn't you do it next weekend? It's like, well, it's Mother's Day. Okay, why don't you do the weekend beforehand? Definitely wet and cold before then.
Yeah.
Well, why this weekend? Well, it works. You don't want to go. It's usually around Cinco de Mayo, so there's a good reason to drink.
Yeah.
It just works
It
out.
just worked.
Yeah. So again, I greatly appreciate everyone who made it out.
Yes,
This
sir.
is super special to me and the other two guys in here, and we're looking forward to it next year.
Yes,
and
sir.
a huge thank you for those that did make it out. It means a lot to me from the bottom of my heart. Appreciate it. It's really
Yeah.
cool.
It was really cool.
So let's gonna wrap this one up. Basically, if you don't make it next year, you're fucking retarded. So
Yeah. What's
suck on
wrong
that.
with you?
Can't confirm.
Can't confirm. All right, guys. See you next week.
Bye.
Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to subscribe and check us out at dieselpowerproducts.com.